What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to Treebeard's Toy Box. And before we get going, I just wanted to say Happy New Year, and I wanted to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to check out my channel and watch my videos. Today we hit 475 subscribers, and we're getting closer and closer to 500, and that's just in my first year on YouTube. And I think that's pretty decent. So I wanted to let you all know how much that means to me and to just say thank you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our first review of 2022. And that is going to be this brand new Best Action Buffy the Vampire Slayer figure from the Loyal Subjects. So let's go ahead and get this over to the review station and check her out. Now, I don't normally collect this line. This is actually only my third Best Action figure in my collection. I have Gandalf, I have Slash, and now I have Buffy. I am interested in getting the turtles because I think that those look really good, and I need some good Toon Turtles because I decided to pass on the NECA Toon Turtles. It was just too far out there, they're doing too many, and it's just another line I can't keep up with. But they're great. But I'm sticking with the movie ones. But the new Best Action Turtles actually look really nice, so I'm going to try and pick those up. But normally this line is just hit or miss. If I see a figure or a character that they're doing that I'm interested in, I'll pick it up. They're decently priced. I'd be happier if they were closer to 15. After tax, she ended up being closer to 19. Actually, a little more than 19. But originally, when I saw a different version of this figure about 9-10 months ago at Target, and same packaging, same body, same accessories, but the head sculpt on that figure was straight
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
So I'm not sure what the story is with this figure. If you happen to know, please let me know in the comments. I'm not sure if they did a recall or if this is just a different version. But when I saw this the other day at Walmart, I had to do a double take because the head sculpt is just light years beyond what I saw at Target months ago. And I'm very pleased because I did want this figure. I wanted to add a Buffy figure to my collection, a Sarah Michelle Gellar figure. Used to have a bit of a crush. So it's nice to add this to my collection, but when they first announced it, I got excited, and then I saw that figure at Target, and oh, what a letdown. So, enough of me rambling. What I'm getting at is, it's nice to finally have a way better version. I don't know, like I said, if you know the story with this figure, please let me know. I don't know if they did a recall, or if this is just a different version, but I think everything else is the same, so... But my goodness. But yeah, you see the window here. I do really like the packaging for these Best Action figures. They're very collector friendly. They're very nice. We just get a continuation of the window over there. And then on the back here, see, this is closer to what was represented with that original figure, was this right here. So, like I said, whole new head sculpt. Her hair's not even the same. But I do like this packaging, like that. Looks like a digital render. It's definitely not an image of the figure. We do get some nice accessories here. Looks like we've got 3 sets of hands. And yeah, look at that. Nice stuff going on. A little bow, an axe, and of course, her stake there. She would not be complete without it. And she does have this little bio here. Let's go ahead and read that. It says, Buffy. A reluctant hero, Buffy Summers is called to be a slayer at the age of 15. After an incident at her high school in LA, her mother moves them to Sunnydale, California. She becomes the guardian of the Hellmouth. As a slayer, Buffy possesses superhuman strength, speed, healing factor, and incredible endurance. She also displays a great deal of combat prowess when battling vampires. Yeah, we all know she's a badass. But yeah, let's see. The other side here, we get this nice image of Sarah Michelle Gellar there. And then we'll go ahead and take one last look, like we do, of the front of the packaging there. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and open this up and check her out. And here is Buffy out of the packaging, and you can probably already tell, in case you didn't know already, with BST AXN, they are not 6-inch scale figures. They are, I want to say, closer to, they're probably 5-inch. They're definitely bigger than 3 3/4. They're almost like an import size, like a figure arts or something like that. That's what I would compare them to. Not quite quality. This has got some good things going on that I do want to point out, though. Like, first off, the head sculpt is just, like I said earlier, light years beyond that original one. So I really do feel like they did a recall or something. We even get like a slight wash in her hair. You see she's got a little band in her ponytail. We get that detail. I mean, the sculpt is fantastic. We get little detail for her earrings. Pretty good. I think if they were to use like the photo real print, these guys would just be on a whole nother level. So if they just keep moving up, they're, like I said, they're hit or miss though. The Gremlins figures they did were just absolute trash. They weren't in scale with each other. I mean, they just did Stripe and Gizmo so far, but if you've seen them in the wild, like, they are absolute trash. I'm sorry, they just are. And the original version of this figure was as well. That's why I passed on it. But when I saw this, I had to do a double take, because I'm sorry, but I feel like, you know, she's kind of got these doughy eyes and some sad, pouty lips, but that's fine. They nailed the sculpt. They nailed her nose. Like, look at that. That is Sarah Michelle Gellar right there. She's got like this little tip on her nose, and they just nailed it. And the eyes aren't bad. I just feel like if they were to use like that print tack, they'd be on a whole nother level. But yeah, not a whole lot of other colors going on. We just get this basic like black for her jacket and her undershirt, and then this like red for her, it's almost like a cherry for her pants there. And they do seem to be doing some kind of, or attempting some kind of pinless tech for their knees. Not for the arms, but the knees kind of remind me of Mafex. The joints in there are very similar. And I do believe that my knee over here is either upside down. Yeah, I think it's upside down. There's something slightly off. It's not affecting how she stands, so she still functions just fine. But there's definitely something a little off there, and I think it's just a little QC issue. I think this is just supposed to be flipped in there. But yeah, I think she looks fantastic. You know, she was under $20. I definitely was liking that. I felt like they were closer to 15 to 17. And she was 17 something, but like I said, after tax, it was a little over 19. But yeah, I think she looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and set her aside and check out the accessories that she comes with. So for accessories, we do get 3 sets of hands. We get the open hands that she has on in the packaging. And then we get 2 fisted hands. And the sculpting on all the hands is actually done really well. For as small as they are, they're very detailed. So there's the fisted hands. And then we also get a pair of gripping hands for her weapons. And you know, you can almost see the detail of her fingernails on the hands, which is a really nice touch, especially for how small they are. We also get this cool little crossbow, which mine seems to have a little warpage, not a major deal. I think I can fix that fairly easily with just a little bit of super glue. If you notice, it's just kind of coming out there a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up, and I'm just going to add a little glue under there and push that back into place. And I think just with that little bit of attention, we'll be fine with that. So I am not going to, you know, that just happens. A little bit of warpage. It's a cool accessory. The paint detail is fantastic on this. Some nice silver for the heads of the arrows. A little gold in there. Yeah, that turned out nice. And then we get this sweet axe here, which has got nice silver detail on there. The paintwork is pretty fantastic on this little thing. And then we get this little stake at the end of it. So yeah, I think this turned out great. And then last but certainly not least, how can you have a Buffy figure without her stake? And there you go. Get some nice sculpted detail in there. Some different colors going on with the paint. I don't throw it somewhere. But yeah, this turned out really nice. And that is going to do it for accessories. So let's go ahead and move right along to articulation here. So for articulation on Buffy here, we've actually got some pretty good stuff going on. We're not off to a good start with the head, and I'm not sure why that is, but it is a bit stiff. We're really just going to get rotation. Not much else. You'd think that I mean, it's just a ball, I think, but it really just wants to rotate, and that's kind of disappointing. So not much there for some reason. For the shoulders, we get a hinge and a swivel, and we also get butterfly joints in there that actually do function pretty decently. We are going to get a bicep swivel on a female figure, which is rare. And then we also get double jointed elbows. They are not pinless, but that's okay. They are trying. Yeah, double jointed elbows with some great range. And then we get a hinge and a swivel for the wrists. And that is in and out on both wrists. And then this is very pliable, so that gets out of the way. We get this diaphragm cut here. Nothing crazy, but it's, you know, it's got what you need. Side to side, pretty good. But we also get a waist cut, and we don't get that all the time. The fact that we get both is pretty nice. We don't get much for the hips, and I did have this pop off on me once, so do be cautious and maybe use a hairdryer. The plastic's not bad, so I'm not worried about it breaking. It's just a little tight, and you're going to get a little more movement if you use a hairdryer. But for some reason, I think just the way it's cut, maybe with her butt, which she does have a pretty decent butt there. But something with the sculpt, I believe, is going on with the hips there. So unfortunately, we're not going to get a lot of range without kind of stressing that. Yeah, we do get a thigh cut, and we get these double jointed pinless knees, which is nice. Like I mentioned before, it looks like they're implementing some kind of like Mafex style joint in there, if you can see that. That's what it makes me think of. But yeah, she can kick her own booty. Nothing at the calf, but that's all right. And then we get a hinge and a rocker for the ankles. And it's a little hindered by the pants there, but you can get them moving around a little bit. So I'm pretty satisfied overall with her articulation. I would say the downsides are the head and the hips. Other than that, pretty darn solid. For swapping out her hands, they do pop out pretty easily. Not like too easily where they're falling out. but I don't feel like they're going to break or anything. So you just snap that out. And let's go ahead and give her a gripping hand. And it just pops in there like so. And it's in and out on that hand as well for the articulation. And we'll go ahead and let's see. They are pliable. I would use a hair dryer. But I think it's gonna work fine. You can put it there like that for now, but you can get it around this part too, but I'm gonna use a hair dryer just so I don't add any stress. But it is a nice softer plastic, so that's nice. Yeah, the hands are very easy to swap out, so that's nice. And there you go. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons here. Here she is next to the other best action figures that I have from Loyal Subjects. And that is Slash and Gandalf, like I said earlier. And I don't think they are quite in scale with each other because I don't think she should be as tall as Slash and Gandalf. I just don't think that's accurate. So they're looking to be all about the same size. Gandalf being a little taller with this hat, but Slash and Buffy coming in right at about the same height. So that's kind of unfortunate, but they do seem to be like an odd scale of their own as far as these figures go, because like the Gremlins were just weird and kind of wonky. So I'm not sure kind of how they're doing it. They seem to just be like figure to figure. She's probably in scale to the Angel figure that came out, but I'm not positive. You know, maybe they're the same height. But we'll just have to see. But yeah, there she is next to the other best action figures I have. Here she is next to a Star Wars The Vintage Collection Bo-Katan figure. And you can see she's quite a bit bigger than the 3 3/4, so definitely not that scale. Here she is next to a SH Figuarts Scarlet Witch figure, and you can see she's not even quite in scale with the Figuarts. So the best action figures are kind of a, you know, like I said, a scale of their own. So, you know, figure to figure. So overall, I am pretty satisfied with this Buffy figure. You know, there are definitely some things that could be done better. I would like them to stay closer to the $17 price range, just because they are smaller figures. But if they do keep improving things like they did with this Buffy figure, then I guess I'm okay with paying a little closer to 19. I think if they were to start using the photo reel, it would just put them on a whole nother level, because I think that they nailed the sculpt. There's just something about the nose that is straight Sarah Michelle Gellar, and they just nailed it. So at certain angles, she is definitely there with the likeness. Yeah, and she moves really nicely. She feels pretty decently in hand. There are a couple joints that could be a little better. I do have the knee issue that's not really a huge issue. I think it's just a little QC, but it's not affecting the functionality of my figure. So, I don't know. As far as numbers go, I'm trying to decide if I want to continue to do number ratings on figures. I may or may not continue to do that in the future here. But for now, I think we'll go ahead and stick to it. And, you know, for what she is, I think I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10. There's definitely room for improvement, but I am definitely happier now than what they initially had released. So, like I said, if you know the story, like did they recall the other one, or is this just a alternate head sculpt for Walmart? I'm not really positive, but I am quite happy. And if you are a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Sarah Michelle Gellar, then go ahead and go pick this figure up for yourself, because I think you're going to be pretty satisfied. She's got some awesome accessories, some great articulation, decent looking little booty there, and a fantastic head sculpt. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like button if you like what you see. And please be sure that you hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. And make sure you hit that notification bell on the way out so you know when I got new videos coming. And until next time, take good care.